when it comes to smoking, alcohol, and drugs, teenagers aren't even listening to parents, teachers, doctors, and even celebrities and spokespeople. So what in all of God's creation make you think they're going to listen to some damn puppets on TV? What it do, YouTube? I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ricardo.
And if you're watching for the first time, we are not twins. That is me, and today we are going to discuss something that's been dominating the media the past couple of weeks, the vaping epidemic. Now, many people have their opinions on vaping and their close relation to traditional cigarettes. As vaping has gained popularity as an unofficial smoking cessation device, it has also exploded in popularity amongst teenagers to the point where our government is considering, and in some cases actually enacting, some extreme regulations. Are they helping or are they hurting? Other me, you have the floor.
Nah, man, seems like you got a lot you want to get off your chest. I'll let you go first.
Good. You don't see this as a huge coincidence? Look, the first e-cigarette was patented back in 1927, but was made popular in 1963. But they didn't get big until about 10 years ago. So in the last decade, 8 people allegedly died from vaping, and now they want to ban it? Hell, 8 people died from smoking since the start of this video, and 8 more are going to die before the end of this sentence. I don't see them banning traditional smoking. Do you know how many people didn't come home last night due to drunk driving? Alcohol isn't in danger. Opiates are tearing entire communities apart, and not only are they still putting that nonsense out there, but our support personnel has to equip themselves with means to combat the addiction. You know why vaping is being attacked? Because a huge election year is coming up, and killing vaping won't hurt their bottom line like it will if they go at a big tobacco, big pharmacy, and big alcohol. And they're piling on the greatest scare tactic, and it's driven by big tobacco. They're losing their demographic. Grown legal adults are quitting smoking in favor of vaping, and teenagers, why they shouldn't be making this decision in the first place, teenagers who are choosing to smoke are choosing vaping over traditional cigarettes. Big tobacco is losing millions, if not billions, to vaping, and are using politicians to get rid of this threat, plain and simple. They want teenagers to use their product, and they don't care so long as it's bringing in money.
So there's no vaping epidemic and vaping isn't a health hazard?
Don't get me wrong, anything you put in your lungs that's not clean air is not safe. But vaping companies are marketing e-cigarettes as harm reduction, as they are only safer than cigarettes, not that they are entirely safe in the first place. And the media has spun that into them saying that safer is the same as safe. No vaping company has said that. Look, driving 120 miles an hour in a car is safer than driving 120 miles an hour on a motorcycle. That's not to say that driving that fast in a car is safe. It's not. That's why we get speeding tickets. Banning cars is not the answer to that just because a few idiots are irresponsible with them.
And what about Juul, who clearly displays an extremely aggressive form of marketing that can be easily seen as being geared towards kids and their fruity flavors and devices that strongly resembles thumb drives?
Vaping should be banned because the fruity flavors and fun packaging clearly targets children. Well, what about this? Look, what happens when a mass shooter goes on a rampage? They inquire about where he got the gun. You get caught with drugs, they want to know who the dealer is. Kids get caught in college with beer, they want to know where they bought the beer from. No one has no one asked these teenagers who are illegally using these devices where they got them from? Juul is only mainstream because it's sold out of convenience stores and gas stations. That's why they're so popular, and that's why they're catching the bulk of this. Granted, they've done some marketing that doesn't help their case, but there's a reason your Smocks, your Vupoos, your Vandy Vapes, your iJoys, your Joytex, your Innikins, your Siglies. There's a reason you don't see these devices in Shell stations. You want to fix this thing? Start busting the people putting this stuff in the kids' hands. Man was choked to death because he was selling cigarettes on the street. You mean to tell me you can't get a kid to tell you where he got his Juul from?
And you didn't answer my first question.
Yes, teenage vaping is definitely a problem. Teenagers should not be vaping, period. There's no justification for it. But since these garbage attack ads on TV are clearly not working, vaping doesn't make you look cool or rad. Hello, spoiler alert, in the eyes of other teenagers, it does. And on top of that, when it comes to smoking, alcohol, and drugs, teenagers aren't even listening to parents, teachers, doctors, and even celebrities and spokespeople. So what in all of God's creation make you think they're going to listen to some damn puppets on TV? And come on, rad? The last time my teenage son used the word rad was when he was asking me what rad meant. So what does the media and the politicians do? They make it a medical crisis instead. And they do it so well, you can't even see the tobacco companies pulling the strings. Okay, now vaping is in its infancy, okay, and it can be said that not enough research has been done long term. And I would agree with that. There probably isn't enough research, but how much research is enough? Hell, they're still researching red meat, and we've been eating that since the creation of man. But in this country, we have the right to choose what we want to consume. And we will have to deal with the consequences of that consumption. I mean, damn, KFC just invented a chicken sandwich where the damn bun is made out of donuts. And that's after the double down sandwich where the buns were made of fried chicken. Okay, millions of people with diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart disease, ain't nobody saying nothing about that. Okay, and just like guns, banning vaping only hurts the responsible people. Think about it. They're getting it illegally in the first place. That's not going to change just because you make it more illegal. Okay, you need to start nailing people that's putting it in these people's hands, especially those who are messing up e-liquids with foreign substances and whatever it is they're using to basically moonshine this stuff to getting a high and killing people.
I'm sorry, are you comparing guns and mass shootings with vaping?
Okay, after everything I just said, that's what you got out of that. Okay, proportionately speaking. But mark my words, as soon as these elections are over, this crisis is going to disappear as soon as it came. They don't care about kids. Look what's going on at the border. They care about votes, and the good guys are going to be the ones that suffer. Don't ban it completely. Just get it out of convenience stores and gas stations. And like legal marijuana, only allowed to be sold out of legal dispensaries regulated by the FDA.
Well, I really can't argue with a lot of what you just said other than this. There is a vaping epidemic among teenagers, and vaping is a health hazard. And if employing tougher restrictions is what fixes it, regardless of who's driving your conspiracy theory, is what it takes to get it resolved, then do it. I mean, if we have to slow down or even halt production of vaping until this blows over with aggressive, genuine, bona fide research, then do it. You're right. We do have the right to consumption. And vaping may be killing people and causing lung disease. It may not. Tainted liquids may be what's causing this crisis. It may not. Years ago, tanks and drippers were the big thing in vaping. Now pods are. Could the rising popularity of pod systems be causing this? We just don't know. But we have to slow this thing down until we do know. Okay? Big tobacco had their years where they were being successfully sued left and right. Alcohol had prohibition. And opiate providers are now filing bankruptcy. It's vaping's turn to go through the grinder. Consider it a rite of passage. And if they make it to the other side of this thing, then they'll be fine. Say they do get tough and then relax the laws like they did with alcohol and tobacco. What's to say that this won't rear its ugly head again? Thousands are still dying from drunk driving and alcohol abuse, and millions are still dying from traditional cigarettes. So clearly lawsuits and the prohibition didn't work. And two, vaping is far more vulnerable because they don't have a leg in politics, and unlike traditional cigarettes, alcohol, and abused pharmaceuticals, the product and the delivery system are two different things. So banning one can essentially make the other impossible to use. So if our government has its way with vaping might not even stand a chance to come out on the other side. But we just gotta hope that this isn't a politically driven knee-jerk reaction. Hope that cooler heads prevail and rational decisions are made where everybody wins. While drinking and traditional cigarettes, we have been thoroughly informed of the consequences and choose to accept the risk. You smoke, you get cancer. You drink too much, you get liver disease. You get busted drunk driving or underage drinking, you go to jail. We all know the risk. We just don't know that with vaping right now. And I thought you were supposed to be the angry one. What say you, YouTube? You see what's in front of you. Is our government being draconian with these threats of vaping regulations and are burning the house down to get rid of a spider? Or should they be going in a different direction by leaving the product alone and need to be targeting more vendors like convenience stores, gas stations, and underground black market peddlers? Regardless, it needs to be dealt with. Leave your opinion in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know you liked it. Share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get all the updates as they happen. And I've challenged myself. Have you? Over and out.